All right, so the last story here, DHS arrests student activist for Gaza protests. So this article is from Dropsite News, and this is a really just kind of chilling story here. So on Saturday night, Department of Homeland Security, DHS agents entered a student residential building at Columbia University in Uptown New York and detained Mahmoud Khalil, one of the lead negotiators on behalf of pro-Palestine protesters at 2024's Gaza Solidarity Encampment. In a sweeping attack on the First Amendment, the Trump administration said this week that it would begin revoking visas of Hamas sympathizers, specifically citing Columbia University students. The detention followed a 2-day targeted online campaign against Khalil by pro-Israel groups and individuals, including Columbia's high-profile pro-Israel professor Shai Davidai. So Khalil, an Algerian citizen of Palestinian origin and an American green card holder, was detained by DHS officials around 8:30 as he was entering the Columbia residential building he lives in. He was returning from an iftar, breaking the day-long fast observed by many Muslims during the month of Ramadan. Khalil's wife, who was 8 months pregnant, was with him at the time. A statement by the pro-Palestine group Writers Against the War on Gaza stated that he was abducted and detained without the physical demonstration of a warrant or officially filed charges. Khalil was detained at a DHS facility in New Jersey, according to a database for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. But when his wife went to try and visit him, she was informed that he was not there. And his attorney confirmed that he's not at the ICE facility in New Jersey, and they don't know where he is. According to the organization, the DHS agents told Khalil that the U.S. Department of State had revoked his student visa. The group said that was despite the fact that he had a green card, not a visa. And that means he's a permanent resident. And in response to a request for comment from Dropsite, the DHS said that you needed to reach out to the White House. But essentially what happened was that they went to arrest him and they said, we're going to revoke your visa. And he said, well, I have a green card. And they said, well, we're going to revoke that too. And Marco Rubio tweeted out on Sunday night a story from AP about this and saying, if you attend pro-Hamas or, if you're pro-Hamas or whatever, I forget exactly how he worded it, but we're going to revoke your visa or green card. And green card is just a whole nother kind of level, a whole nother crackdown. And again, there's no evidence here that, as far as I know, that this guy was involved in any kind of violent protests. He was the reason why he was targeted was because his name and identity was known because he acted as a negotiator representing the students and negotiated with the university. And I mean, the precedent that is being set here, if people don't think that this stuff isn't going to happen to Americans, I mean, I think they're incredibly foolish. You think about the Patriot Act and just all, what direction do these things go in? And it's a very, very broad brush. They label anybody pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, anybody who's against what Israel's doing, they label them pro-Hamas. So this is very bad. And another thing, this mentions that Columbia, the Trump administration, took away $400 million in funding to Columbia, which is a lot of money. And Columbia, the tuition is like huge. But anyway, this is a First Amendment violation, and people will roll their eyes and say, oh, well, the universities, especially a private university, shouldn't get federal funding. But, I quoted Glenn Greenwald in an article about this. He's a constitutional lawyer. Under the First Amendment, if a government is going to give away a benefit, and then they cannot, if the government's going to do that, they can't withhold it or take it away over certain political views. And the fact is, Columbia is cracking down on these protesters. They suspended 3 people from one of their schools, and they're really cracking down on these protests. So I don't know what, it seems like the Trump administration is really eager to do this. And it's just not a good sign.